Hello. I have a few memories that were sent to me from family and friends, but Dad's. One is from Paul Anderson, who's a nephew. He remembers back in 1999 going to Lava Hot Springs with Uncle Lynn and Aunt Janice and my parents. What a wonderful experience that was. We were all up until 1 a.m. telling old stories in our hotel room. We laughed and reminisced the past. I always remember Aunt Janice's wealth of knowledge. She remembers every name. What a great memory she has, and what a great memory that was. I miss those memories as well as many more. I love them both. This is a friend, Dave Carter, who worked with Dad at Del Monte. In the summer of 1963, I went to work for California Packing Corporation, to become Del Monte Corporation. During the summer, I was involved in the canning, pea, and green bean harvest in southern Idaho. I reported to Paul Sharp for that summer stint, and I, from time to time, would come in contact with Lynn. That fall, I was transferred to Spanish Fork and was assigned as a field man for the area west of Spanish Fork, which included Benjamin. There I met Ruth and Burnell Anderson, local farmers and cowpack growers. I came to be well acquainted with Ruth, and of course he mentioned Lynn occasionally. So I knew who Lynn was, but I didn't know him very well. During my stay at Spanish Fork, I was temporarily assigned to the green bean harvest in Crystal City, Texas, in the fall after the canning season ended in Spanish Fork. So there I was, a pretty green kid with some experience, but not a lot, being assigned to travel to Crystal City, Texas, and assist with the green bean harvest. Never been to Texas, did not know anyone there. All I knew was I was to report there. So I flew out to Salt Lake, to San Antonio, rented a car, and did my best to find Crystal City. I arrived in the late afternoon and reported to the division office where the division manager's secretary met me and had me wait in her office. I was one anxious farm boy. Who should come bounding into the secretary's office but Lynn Anderson? I recognized him right away and was glad to see a familiar face. He put me at ease and explained what I would be doing and why I was there, answering all the questions, and made me feel welcome. My 3 annual 60-day stints with harvesting green beans at Crystal City were made easier because of the attention and true concern Lynn always had for me and my assignment. He and I had many experiences during my 31-year career with Del Monte. He was a positive influence on me and many other Del Monte associates. I have great respect and admiration for Lynn Anderson. Another one is Paul Sharp, worked for Del Monte. It was Dad's boss. And he was able to come in the day that Dad passed. Um, he said Lynn was a special coworker. He saved my bacon many times. Dee Tipton is a family friend from the Timber Mine Cafe in West Yellowstone. Jana, I was so sorry to hear this. He held a special place in my heart. Even though we were not related by blood, I always felt like your dad, Mom, and you were part of our family. Every time I saw him, he made me smile. Wish we were closer so we could give you and your mom a hug. When we first met Dee and Tom in the restaurant up there, she came up to Dad and she said, "You look just like my uncle." So it's kind of adopted us. Angie with Inspiration Hospice Nurse. Um, I watched the tribute video. 96 years makes a lot of memories and how wonderful. I love the picture of him riding his tractor. There's riding more. And you put the pictures in with the fun activities he did with the staff and a picture with he and I. I love seeing that he always had those kind and gentle eyes his whole life. Such a wonderful man. I have so many things I'd like to email you, but I'm struggling to find the words. Every day I saw your dad and he gave me that warm smile, most of it with his eyes. He just made my heart swell. He had such a presence about him. He's such a wonderful man, and there will never be anyone like him. We all miss him very much. Um, I'd like to give kind of a thanks to everyone at Fairfield Village, staff, and all the many friends that Dad continued to make there. Angie with Inspiration Hospice for taking such good care of him the last few months. Diane Higgs and Intermountain Healthcare Group, which helped him before he went over to Fairfield. We had a little bit of a trying experience, and she was right there helping us get him out of that one into Fairfield. And Ricardo with BMR detailing for working his magic once again and getting Dad's truck ready for that one last ride he wanted so bad. And then Walker Mortuary, we'd like to thank them for all they've done for us and for family and friends for your kind words and loving care for Dad and our family. Memories of Dad. I had 65 of them, so it's kind of hard to pick. Could do when he was trying to teach me to drive a stick shift, which that would take too long. And fly fishing with Dad on the Yellowstone was a good thing that we did as a family. In later years, after Mom lost her sight, I dragged him to about every concert I could find that I knew they'd enjoy. So they didn't have a choice in it. It was like, come on, we're going to this concert. So we did a lot of concerts in the last 18 years and going up to Yellowstone. But I couldn't have had a better dad. He taught me everything I know. I could put in a pump. I can fix a riding mower. I can do a little bit on a car. And Mom taught me all the bacon stuff. So there we go. I love you, Dad. Thank you.
I'm Cal Henline. You may know me as Lee Henline. It's changed through the years. I was married to Janice's younger sister, Helen, for 57 years. My fondest memory of Lynn was when I was a junior at Utah State University. I just received a notice of induction into the military to go take a physical. And that year, the Marine Corps had a program where between the junior and senior year, you could go to training. And when you graduated, you were commissioned as an officer in the Marine Corps. And so I had a heart-to-heart talk with Lynn about it. He had joined the Utah National Guard, and they're here in Spanish Fork. And it was called up during the Korea campaign. And so he served in the Korean War, and he knew what war was all about. Right then, in my case, Vietnam was right on the horizon. And it was a terrible war. And he talked me out of it. He said, don't do it. Make them come find you. I'm thinking he probably saved my life.
I'm Bob Pratt. Janice was my cousin. Lynn was my go-to man for whatever I needed, whenever I needed it, and to also keep my cousin Janice in line. And that was difficult. I want to tell you a little bit about Lynn. I'm originally from McGill, Nevada. That's where my life has been. But what went in between all of these stories and places that they've been. It was a joy that we had whenever we got together. Either together, the two of us, or Janice, the three of us. I was the one that had to protect Lynn from Janice. There's no question about that. Whether she could see or not see, she's the one that gave orders of what Lynn had to do to keep that yard in immaculate shape. He had a touch that was there. And then they also did the same thing with their home in Palmyra. Lynn and Janice had lived and journeyed in Texas, New Jersey. Again, of course, the Del Monte plant here. And the things that they were able to accomplish together are miracles. We had the opportunity one time to, when we were living in New Jersey, they came up and visited us, and we went to see a stage play called The Impossible Dream. And I think Lynn and Janice have lived that impossible dream fully and gave so much to others. The thing that I also wanted to say that most of you don't know or didn't recognize, Lynn had another career besides Del Monte. He was over a frozen food plant in California. He was over a tomato plant manufacturing place in Colorado near Rifle. He'd traveled all over the world. He came and worked for us. I needed somebody that was a good farmer, was a good food man, but more than anything, someone that I could depend upon. And I, at that time, ran Bonneville Pacific, who had these places in California, Idaho, Colorado, Utah. Lynn was the person, his word was his bond. Now, Janice should have learned something from him. And I thought after all of these years that I stopped by to see them in Ogden. And it turns out Janice says, I don't do Saturdays anymore. I was thinking of stopping there getting something to eat. It was very clear and without a doubt. Janice still gave the orders, the dictations, and even I obeyed. Janice, we love you, but it's Janice and Lynn that have been together all of these years. I learned to love Lynn as a friend I might have the reputation of being the kissing cousin, but I don't kiss the boys. I just kiss the girls. So you'll have to understand that you're among great people. Lynn, you are the best. I thank you for what you gave to me, what you gave to Janice and Janet Lynn and Jenny Lynn. You gave them love and hope. And I ask the Lord to watch you each and every day as you go forth. And I say this gratefully in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
name's Joseph Ambernack. I've had the blessing of knowing Lynn for half my life. And just a quick story of perhaps the first time that I came down to meet Ginny Lynn. We had taken a trip up to Yellowstone, and in my mid-20s thought I was trying to make a good impression on Lynn, and we were sitting down for breakfast one morning and the check came. I thought it was wise of me to grab the bill and try to offer to pay. As soon as my hand touched the check, all I could see was the look of fear in Ginny Lynn, Janice's and Janet Lynn's eyes. A couple of minor head shakes as well, suggesting that I need to learn the hard way, perhaps, how much pride Lynn took in taking care of his family. But I was going to stand my ground. I was determined that I was going to pay that morning. It didn't happen, and it didn't happen for another few years before Lynn allowed that to happen. So I think there's no doubting Lynn's kindness, his generosity, and his love for others, but taking care of his family was first and foremost to him. So I hope one day that I'll grow to be a fraction of the man that Lynn was. Thank you.